Good morning, everyone. My name is Claire Milverton, and I'm CEO of One Spatial plc. One Spatial is listed on AIM on the London Stock Exchange. Its headquarters are in Cambridge, but it also has offices globally. My background is in finance, with the likes of PricewaterhouseCoopers, and then into being a CFO in industry. When the opportunity to be CEO of One Spatial 4 years ago arose, I just grabbed it with both hands, because this is such an exciting space. But with that excitement did come a huge learning curve. But I'm no stranger to the issues that arise as a result of poor data. But in my old world, this was around the numbers. But in the new world, poor quality data can be life critical. At One Spatial, we work with a range of clients across central and local government, for example, with the US Census, Ordnance Survey, Greater London Authority, Environment Agency, a number of counties in the US, including the County of Los Angeles, where we're helping them with their emergency services data. With Northern Gas Networks, Northumbrian Water, Yarra Valley Water in Australia, and Walloon Water in Belgium. And also with transportation, with Network Rail. With more and more data being made available, and there have been so many uses for it, it's often difficult to see the wood from the trees. But imagine a world where this data was collected once, then shared, quality assured, and then used to solve real world problems. And I'd like to share some insights and perspectives on this today. At One Spatial, we work with our clients, helping them solve their, usually where the solution is using geospatial or location data. Well, we have a 4-step process. Firstly, establishing what the customer need is, otherwise known as a use case. Then identifying what data they have. Do they have it internally, or do we need to find an external source? And then bringing the data together. And then using the data for analysis or decision making. Having good quality data is key, because if you have bad data, you'll be making bad decisions. And I'd like to present now a real life use case that we've worked on with one of our clients and some of the barriers encountered. And this real use case is around a gas incident. So what is an incident? It's where like water pipes burst or a gas main leaks. And the utility companies need to deal with these quickly. And they wanted us to develop a real-time mobile and desktop application to manage these incidents. And this process was generally paper-based at this time, before this app. And the key drivers for this application were driven by health and safety, regulation, sustainability, efficiency, and customer care agendas. And it was around improving the response time to incidents and ensuring vulnerable people are checked as a priority, and also having an auditable trail of actions taken during the incident. The starting point of the solution is with the Ordnance Survey data for addressing. On top of this, the gas company plots their map of their underground network in red, and then identify the affected area by the incident. And then the gas company gets their data that they have on vulnerable people and plots that on the map. And then with the app, the gas engineers will go door to door, checking the safety of the gas, but also checking the welfare of the customers, making sure they have meal vouchers or fan heaters, and obviously checking on the vulnerable people first as a priority. And during this process, there's an auditable trail being kept all of the time, both on the app and back at base. And this auditable trail is not only used for internal purposes to help with the business, but also for regulatory purposes. So these valuable insights and information are being collected by a number of organisations and utility companies, but this data is being collected in silos. Where we'd like to get to is this, an integrated data system, where there's the sharing of data. And importantly, this would save time or money on duplicated data collection costs. So what would a utopian vision look like for the incident app and the gas use case? Well, what about if you could get additional or vulnerable people information from the water utility and the local authority records? You could also map the water network. Or what about bringing in other data sources to allow you to look at energy consumption patterns, which might indicate that there are more vulnerable customers that we don't know about, for example, the elderly, and we could report that information back to social services or the local authority. A true use of the data ecosystem to provide insights and benefits. So what are the barriers to achieving this? And I believe there are three key barriers. Firstly, sources of data. Secondly, data quality and integration. And thirdly, legal and ethical. Firstly, sourcing the data. We're lucky in Great Britain that we have the Ordnance Survey master map data, which is being made more and more open and more commercially available on pay-per-use schemes. We also have the National Underground Asset Register in progress. But what about access to other sources of data from government? For example, the vulnerable people data from local authorities or social services. The second barrier is around data quality and integration. Because this data is collected in the silos, there are problems due to different standards and formats being used and differing levels of data quality. What do we have to help us with this? We have things like the Geospatial Information Framework. And at OneSpatial, we work closely in the areas of data, innovation, and standards. OneSpatial's location master data management approach allows us to be the connectors within these ecosystems. And if you zoom into one of those connectors, you can see our OneSpatial platform in blue. Data governance and data quality is at the heart of everything we do. And coming in and out of the system, we have different data sources from Ordnance Survey, 3D data, or other data types. But also, going to the right-hand side, purple cylinder, we can bring in data standards, and we can use our rules to check compliance with these data standards. And once we've got the data into our system, we can audit and clean it. We also can synchronize the data across the ecosystems. And data never stands still. We want to update the data. We want to check the changes for good data quality. And then we want to analyze the data and use the data to make good decisions. Or maybe we can put it back into one of our OneSpatial apps, such as the Incident app, or share it back with other systems, like GIS systems like Esri or SAP systems, or share it with our partners or other customers. We're using this approach with the state of Michigan, where we're helping them establish a platform of integrated statewide data, which is taking in data from over 300 different counties and cities and organizations, and bringing in more than 60 different data layer types. And with this type of scale of process, automation is absolutely vital. And the third barrier is around legal and ethical. Data trust and safeguarding of data is key, especially with some of the leaks that we've recently had. But we do have protections in place, such as GDPR and the ISO standards. So how do we achieve the utopian vision? Some companies have been reluctant in the past to share data due to competitive advantage reasons. But more and more, we're seeing the companies being more good social citizens and wanting to share data. And looking at some of the use cases for the Incident app, it's just not around the company's efficiency, but it's around health and safety and sustainability customer care agendas, and vulnerable people. And also governments have really helped. The Geospatial Commission and the National Underground for Asset Register has shown where companies are willing to share data. And in my world, from the capital markets and being listed on the stock exchange, environment, social and corporate governance standards are being more and more required for fund managers to invest in companies. And I can't go today without mentioning COVID. The speed at which we've been able to resolve this crisis using data is something that we don't want to stop. And I think it would be good to keep this momentum going and not get shackled by red tape. And beyond COVID, we have other significant agendas, such as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And geospatial data plays a key part in a number of these goals. And it would be perfect as a geospatial community, we could work together to help achieve these goals. Thank you very much.